Hey Falcons fans, we've got a lot to talk about today, and trust me, you won't want to miss a second of it. So hit that like button and let's jump right into the latest news. The offseason is heating up, and the Atlanta Falcons are right in the middle of the action. Two major stories are making headlines, and both could have a huge impact on the team's future. Is Kyle Pitts on the trade block? Let's start with Kyle Pitts. Ever since the Falcons drafted him 4th overall, he has been a big topic of debate. No one doubts his talent. He's an incredible athlete with the potential to change the tight end position. But let's be honest, his production hasn't matched the hype. His rookie season was outstanding, with over 1,000 receiving yards, but since then, he hasn't even reached 667 yards in a season. A lot of that is due to shaky quarterback play, but now with Michael Penix Jr. under center, there's hope that Pitts can finally show what he's truly capable of. That's why recent trade rumors are so surprising. NFL analysts Josh Norris and Hayden Winks suggested that the Falcons should trade Pitts to the New England Patriots for a 5th-round pick. Yes, you heard that right. A 5th-rounder for a player who was drafted 4th overall. Norris argues that the Falcons only have 4 picks in this year's draft and need to regain some draft capital after losing a pick due to the Kirk Cousins tampering situation. But let's be real, trading Pitts for a late-round pick would be a massive mistake. He's still only 24 years old and has all the tools to become a game-changer. Most fans would be furious, and rightfully so. With Penix Jr. running the offense, there's a real chance Pitts could finally break out. Trading him now seems way too soon. What's next for Kirk Cousins? Speaking of quarterbacks, that brings us to the second big story, Kirk Cousins' future in Atlanta. And let me tell you, it's not looking good. NFL insider Jason LaCanfora didn't hold back when he said there's no way in hell the Falcons can keep Cousins on the roster in 2025. The team owes him a $10 million roster bonus in March, and from all reports, he doesn't want to be in Atlanta anymore. According to LaCanfora, Cousins and his camp are looking for a team with an experienced play caller who understands his strengths. That doesn't sound like someone eager to stay with the Falcons. Even AJC's D. Orlando Ledbetter weighed in, referencing Mike Tomlin's famous no hostages rule, suggesting that the Falcons should move on. But it's not that easy. Cousins has a no-trade clause, which means he can block any trade the team tries to make. Plus, Atlanta might have to take on some of his contract to make a deal work. So what's next? Will Pitts stay and finally shine? Will the Falcons find a way to move Cousins? This offseason just got a lot more interesting. What's next for Kirk Cousins and the Falcons? If the Falcons can't find a trade partner, ESPN's Adam Schefter reports that the team is expected to release Kirk Cousins when the new league year begins on March 12th. Financially, that would be a tough loss, but it might be the cleanest way to fully commit to building around Michael Penix Jr. So where does that leave the Falcons? The team is at a crossroads. Should they keep Kyle Pitts and give him a real shot with a better quarterback? Or should they move on from Kirk Cousins and officially hand the team over to Penix Jr.? All right, Falcons fans, now it's your turn. What do you think? Should the team trade Pitts or give him another season to prove himself? And what about Cousins? Will Atlanta find a trade partner, or is a release inevitable? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Is Kirk Cousins still the biggest story? Cousins has been a hot topic this offseason, but should we still be focusing on him? With Michael Penix Jr. stepping in as a potential franchise quarterback, maybe it's time to shift the spotlight to him instead. Penix has already shown poise, talent, and leadership, everything Falcons fans have been hoping for in a QB. Yet Cousins remains a big talking point, especially with rumors swirling about a trade or release. So what's really going on? The Falcons front office originally hinted at keeping Cousins, but recent developments might change that plan. Cousins' late-season injury controversy. One of the biggest twists, Cousins just revealed that he played through an injury late in the season. The timing of this revelation has raised a lot of questions. Throughout the season, fans and analysts wondered if an injury was affecting his performance, but Cousins insisted he was healthy and that the team was simply working to improve. Even after being benched, he never mentioned any injury. Now, weeks after the season ended, he's speaking up, and it almost feels like he's throwing the coaching staff and organization under the bus. What does this mean for the Falcons? At first, there was speculation that Atlanta might release Cousins as a goodwill gesture, allowing him to find another opportunity. But after his recent comments, that narrative has changed. Now it's all about business. From a financial standpoint, keeping Cousins and working out a trade could be the smarter move. Why? Because we're talking about $25 million in cap space, a huge number that could impact how the Falcons build their roster. The question now is, will the Falcons play hardball or will they cut ties and move on? The Falcons have big decisions to make. Letting Kirk Cousins walk away for nothing doesn't make much sense, especially for a team trying to build around Michael Penix Jr. That $25 million in cap space could go a long way in strengthening the roster. Speaking of building blocks, let's talk about one of the most reliable units from last season, the offensive line. Breaking down the offensive line. The Falcons had a solid starting group last season. Jake Matthews, Matthew Bergeron, Drew Dalman, Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry. This unit played a huge role in the team's offensive success, and now some key decisions need to be made. Jake Matthews has been a rock for Atlanta's O-line for 11 seasons. He had one of his best years since 2018, showing great durability and pass protection. However, now that Penix Jr. is a left-handed quarterback, his role could change. Matthew Bergeron took a big step forward in his second season. His run blocking was impressive, and while his pass protection needs work, he looks like a long-term answer at left guard. Drew Dalman was a force in run blocking, but injuries limited him to just 9 games. Now, with free agency coming up, the Falcons have a tough choice. Should they pay to keep him? Ryan Neuzil stepped up in Dalman's absence and could be a priority re-signing as a restricted free agent. Chris Lindstrom continues to dominate in the run game and remains a cornerstone of the O-line. Caleb McGarry has improved his pass protection and will be critical as Penix's blindside protector. Depth players like Storm Norton and Kyle Hinton also played key roles when needed. What's next for the Falcons? Now the team faces some big questions. Should they re-sign Drew Dalman or look for new talent? Will Jake Matthews' role change with a left-handed QB? How can they continue strengthening the O-line for Penix Jr.? And of course, there's still the Kirk Cousins dilemma. Should the team hold on and wait for a trade or cut ties and move on? We want to hear from you. Falcons fans, what's your take? Should the team keep or trade Cousins? What should they do with the offensive line? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more updates. Go Falcons!